Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for our 2024 Diversity Summit, and most important, this day, which is our Cultural Expressions Day, where we are exploring diversity, belonging, equity, and inclusion, and other means aside from sitting in a webinar and having someone preach to us. This afternoon, or this entire day, has been amazing. Please, if you're able to join us for the remainder of the week. Following this session, we do have a fashion show, and then tomorrow we have a play that will be happening at 2 and 7 p.m. in the Miniachi Center. At this time, I would like to turn it over to Dr. Grace Telesco, who will be introducing this evening's sociodrama.
Thank you so much, and we're live streaming this, by the way, FYI, on the Fischler College of Education Fischler College of Education, it's a big mouthful, School of Criminal Justice YouTube channel, so that we can have that archived and people can, go look it up anytime they want. Thank you so much for saying yes to us and allowing us to do this. I want to introduce to you Stage for Change. Give them a big hand, give them some energy. Okay, Stage for Change. They are going to be showing you doing something called sociodrama. And sociodrama is actually education meets theater, is what it is. And it's pretty cool. It's a great technique and a tool. I've been doing it since 1985, which just goes to show that's why the gray. But, we've been doing it here we just counted today is our 7th performance this year. And we've been doing a lot of really good stuff over the course of the year, like Red Flags, which is about domestic violence, raising awareness about domestic violence. We actually were part of the faculty retreat for Fischler College and School of Criminal Justice, challenging students how to handle and negotiate someone who's challenging you in some way. The faculty, by the way, learned a lot that it's a two-way street. By the way, but we've also done some other stuff, public safety officer training on conflict resolution. We did What's Eating Alex just recently for the United Way as part of the President's Quality of Life grant, and that was all about bullying and mental health issues for middle school at-risk youth. So there's just like lots of things that we do. The beauty of sociodrama, in my opinion, is that the characters stay in character. You'll see a scenario. In fact, you're going to see 2 scenarios right now. The first scenario, we will let it go for a little bit, maybe 3-5 minutes, however long the scene lasts. Short scene. And then I say freeze, and we go to the audience for interaction with the characters who stay in character. Very cool stuff. So there'll be two different scenes. So don't think that this is passive. This isn't a passive thing. You are so key to this actually being successful. And in sociodrama technique, we call you guys the reflective team. So you are the reflective team reflecting back to us any issues that you may see, problems that emerge, challenges, things that you would have done differently, whatever it might be, and you will definitely be talking to the characters who stay in character. Are you ready? Woo! It's really cool. All right, here we go. Action.
Yeah, no, I think the design looks pretty good. Just try to I'm gonna pull the design again. I think.
Do you want to add more to the
If we had another star,
We could shade that.
I like that again.
Are we out? It was
This is the 3rd time we've played. I need to go all the game.
Yeah.
They were good.
You guys want to check it out? Yeah. It looks really good so far, I think.
Yeah, there's a little shading over there.
Okay.
What's his club? What's your sidewalk club?
Sharks to the Middle East. Yeah.
What's that handwriting? Yeah.
It's Arabic. Gibberish.
It looks like the cryptic text that I got.
What do you
Right?
It's very clearly like
It's not.
What does it mean?
It says right there. God is great. God is great.
Is there, sorry, were you guys looking
Isn't
for a
that
specific club?
what they yell when they throw a bomb?
Right.
That
looks like a bomb right there, actually.
That's
Wow.
a tiny explosion.
So we're here painting peacefully, so if you guys are looking for another club, I think you can go that way or ask somebody else for help.
Well, we're
Yeah.
just joking around.
Oh, you're joking. Maybe you guys should be funnier next
Yeah, I
time.
think the comedy club's that way.
Yeah, that wasn't
I
fun.
have a sense of humor, was joking.
Well, if you wanted actual information, you could have asked nicely.
You guys are
You
being
guys
really
need to take
aggressive.
a joke. Like,
We're being aggressive.
Okay.
You guys came at us while we're literally just having a
Well,
time.
isn't the club supposed to be peaceful? It's on stage.
We're trying to come at you at a peaceful way, but you're being ignorant.
Freeze. So I'm gonna go to the audience now. What do you see? What have you just witnessed? And by the way, what's going on? I mean, what is this? What are they doing?
They're painting the sidewalks outside.
Okay, because all the clubs do that, right?
Right.
Student organizations do that once a year, and we've done it a couple of times. Sociodrama Club has been also shown a couple of times, so it's a real fun event. It's an all-day thing. So what are they doing? What's the name of the club? Did you catch
So
it?
it's a Middle
Eastern.
Yeah, it's a Middle East, it was Middle Eastern club.
Middle Eastern Club. All right, so let's ask them, because it sounds like we don't really remember exactly what the name of the club is. So can we ask?
Sure.
Anybody want to tell us again what the name of this organization is?
Our club is called Sharks for the Middle East.
Oh, Sharks.
Okay, Sharks for the Middle East. So is it a religious club, or is it political, or is
No,
it
it's-
social? What is it?
It's just kind of like in general, just kind of information about the region, like so people can learn more about like appreciating the different cultures and everything in the region.
Okay, awesome. And let me ask you this, just so you can see, this is how you do it, right? This is how you interact with them. So I'm gonna zero in on you. What did you feel? What did you feel was happening here?
So I was just like doing this poster really peacefully, like with my club members and with my friends, and then this group of people kind of just like came up to us and they were asking a bunch of questions, and it was just leading into some like really, I don't know how to describe it, but like very weird behavior. Like the bomb thing wasn't like really cool, like nothing symbolizes that, and just kind of like it didn't seem like they were asking for information and then calling us sensitive. It wasn't like really cool.
How many of you know what a microaggression is? Anybody want to give your hand, try it, see if you can give me a little definition, a little working definition on what microaggression is.
It's not an overtly aggressive statement, but it's like essentially a statement that is like intended to be like inflammatory. It's intended to be like treated, it's like something that can't overtly be like recognized as, oh, you're doing an aggressive behavior against this person for whatever reason, like their race, their religion, or something like that. It's like making a comment about it in a way that can't be like pointed out by others.
So it's almost like an innocuous, so I call them like no-see-ums. You know, in Florida, you get the no-see-ums, where they bite you up like crazy, but you don't see them, right? So it's kind of like that. Did you think that the bomb comment was a microaggression? No, right? No, what is it?
That was pretty overt to me.
Yeah, and so it's micro-assault. Would you say it was a micro-assault? Maybe? Maybe not? Not sure? What were some of the other statements that you heard? So the bomb was one, but they said
Comments
something about
the language.
the language. What was it about the language?
The writing looked, they say cryptic, I think was the word somebody used.
Yeah. Who said that? Who? Now, are these people, how would you identify them?
I mean, college students. Well, they're NSU students.
They're NSU
yeah.
students. Do you guys belong to a club?
Yeah, we finished our painting.
Uh-huh. What's your club? What's your club? What's the matter? You afraid that I'm gonna arrest you? Are you answering me? I thought that you guys were that Alpha Phi Sigma club.
Yeah, the Criminal Justice Honor Society.
Yeah, well, not being very honorable at this moment, right? And of course, this is fiction, so I'm not gonna say anything negative about the Alpha Phi Sigma, right? It's like, what did Dr. T just do? Boom. Where are you coming from when you say what you're saying, the four of you? Like you asked a question, and it's a good question, right? Is it a good question? Like, what's that? Like, what is that language? What are you doing? What kind of club is that? So far, so good? You're still not sure, tell me.
It seemed in an almost mocking way. It didn't seem like a genuine point of interest. Like, oh, what are you guys doing? I'm interested in this. Like, oh, what is that? Like, it came from that point of view rather than genuine curiosity.
So you genuine, Justin?
I think I was genuine. I was actually kind of lost. I thought it looked like a bomb, but it actually didn't. So.
Well, what made you think that? Was that before or after you heard the name of the club?
I would say after I kind of got like confused with the writing as well, and I was like, oh, it kind of looks a little bit intimidating. So.
Is that how you felt too? Portia?
I mean, yeah, it was kind of genuine. It was just like, we were kind of pointing out, like, making fun of it a little bit, but just like as a playful thing. But
So it was like a joke? You were
Yeah.
more like joking around?
Yeah, I was
That's
just
what you
joking
said,
around.
right?
I was just joking around.
You think they're being too sensitive?
Yeah, it's just, I guess they don't have that sense of humor.
Layla, you're looking right now at Shannon and you're like, you're out of your mind. Why? Tell us what you're feeling.
I don't feel targeted. Like, that thing was funny. I feel like they came over here just to make mean comments about nothing. They weren't really curious at all.
Okay. Were you curious?
I mean, I was like, I've never seen this writing before. I've never heard of Shark the Middle East, so I was like, what is this? But yeah.
Annie? What do you think?
I think it's like, it's very obvious that nobody was actually trying to ask questions, because there's a tone of voice when you're trying to ask questions. Like, they very much just came up like, they were just very aggressive even when they came up. Like, they came up laughing and they're like, oh my god, what's this? Oh my god, what is that? Like, you wouldn't ask like that if you were genuinely curious. And there's like, this is a yellow crest. Like, there's nothing that looks even remotely like anything dangerous or anything aggressive. Like, they're clearly just trying to get a rise out of us. So it's just like, we're all here for good time. There's no need for that. So.
Maya? How do you feel?
I thought it was like really weird the way that they kind of came up to us, and then like immediately after asking, like, we gave out the name, our name is like Sharks for the Middle East, and then like saying that the writing was like scary looking, or that when they mentioned, oh, like this, we mentioned that, oh, this stands for God is great, and they said, oh, is that the thing you say when you're about to blow something up? Like, that felt, that, like, after we mentioned that we were Sharks for the Middle East and saying all of those comments, I don't think it was like genuine playfulness, nor did I find any of the jokes funny.
Eddie? How do you feel?
You know, I do think that they were trying to be funny, but I think that they're ignorant and immature, and their idea of funny comes at the expense of others, and that's just disgusting, in my opinion.
How many of you feel this is Islamophobia? Not sure? What are you not sure about? Not 100%.
It was too short to come to that observation of Islamophobia. Maybe one of the persons.
Maybe one of them.
One of them, and they're pulling the rest into it. It's covert dynamics going on here.
But I mean, I think the bomb thing was that kind of, I feel, crossed the line from microaggression, subtle, because it's not, that wasn't subtle. That was right out there, right? What do you think?
I feel like for myself, when I'm in the midst of advocacy or advocating for someone or a certain group of people, anything that even remotely appears contrary to that sets me off. So I think that, maybe not in this setting, it might be easier to see some of it as, okay, this is just a group of people, being, not being silly or taking it too far. But I think when you're actually doing the thing and advocating for that group, and you have emotions tied to that, I think it's hard to see it as just people like being silly.
So then how do we turn this now into an educational moment for them? Without getting upset, and because I think that Maya, you were getting upset, right? Eddie, you were getting upset too a little bit, but mostly Maya, right? Maya and Annie, maybe, were the most vocal. Would you say that was true? So what would you do, and how would you use this as a tool to raise awareness and consciousness around how offensive this is, how this hurts? This is actually an injury that you're doing here. You're causing an injury.
I think it would be important for them to communicate like the feelings that we're talking about now, like what they're thinking about what's being said, and if it was intended to be a genuine
question, or if they were under the impression that it was a joke, for the group who was offended to communicate, like, let me explain.
Okay, wait, hold on a second. Come on up. This is called stepping in. This is a technique. I know, so what that does is it shuts everybody down now for like participation, but no, because you'll still want to do it. You'll still participate. Okay, so why don't you sit right here? You're one of the students in this club, and when I say action, you're going to feed them a line. Whatever that last line was, there was some last line. I don't know if it was about the language or whatever it was. Okay, ready? And then you're just going to go for it. No holds barred. Action.
I think you guys are taking this too serious. We're just joking around with you.
Like, yeah, you need to take a joke better. Like,
So,
this is,
yeah, here's the thing. Y'all might think it's funny, or you might think it's a joke, but we're low-key offended. So if you're really genuine and you really are trying to be funny, understand that we don't take it that way.
We're sorry, we're just trying to joke around. We didn't mean to offend anybody.
I understand, but that's why we're letting you know, because maybe we thought it was funny, and we don't see it that way.
Alright.
Okay.
What do you think? How did that feel? Confrontational?
Not in a negative way.
Okay, all right. And see, that's the other part of this, right? So when I stand up and I say that this hurt my feelings, and you may not be aware of how you're coming off, but here's what you're saying and it really hurts, then it's like you're being confrontational, or you're trying to engage in conflict, right? Do they have a right to stand up for themselves?
Of course. I think they should stand up, like physically stand up and look them right in the eye and have a conversation.
Let's see what that would look like. Let's see what that would look like.
Sorry.
So let's take it from there, and let's see how that plays off. Okay, action.
Guys, we're just joking.
Okay, freeze. Okay. We're about to call public safety.
You're gonna have to.
Yeah. So that may not play very well, right? Because the whole point, what is our goal?
I think the goal is to educate, right? So it's to like bring down the temperature, and then give them an opportunity to understand what's happening, why this is important to them, and to educate them, right? Because initially they were coming with curiosity, even if it was not, with, I guess, the most genuine intent, but still, they were curious nonetheless, so there's an opportunity to educate.
Okay. You were emotional, right? What's your name?
Arnetta.
You were emotional,
Yeah.
and did you feel like you were about to go into some conflict?
Well, see, I work in HR, so I was trying to take that hat off. And then I'm also a mom, so I was trying to take that hat off and try to remember when I was a student.
Yeah.
And so, I'm really an advocate for anti-bullying and, making sure that communication is how we bridge those gaps where there are conflicts and issues. And I think, to Gilbert's point, it's the education factor. And trying to help someone like really understand why I'm offended or why what you're saying isn't landing how you expect it to land.
Exactly. How did it feel to you to stand up? Well, first of all, you probably have a lot of practice in standing up, right? But what about kids? Can
They don't.
Can students really stand up?
Yeah, sometimes they're not sure
They can, but
if
they
it's
don't know
okay. They're are sometimes afraid of stepping outside of that box
Right.
and standing up for themselves or for other people.
I think it was more likely when, I don't know, remember who it was who said, y'all can just move along, and
Yeah,
just
that
leave if you don't want to do this. And I think that was an interesting technique, but it doesn't educate them.
Right.
It stops the
It
conversation.
stops the conversation.
But it doesn't solve the problem.
Because it puts you on the defensive, right?
Right.
Did you feel like you were on the defensive just now, like you have to defend yourself?
Yeah.
Because you're being accused of something, right? What do you feel like you're being accused of?
Like being insensitive, I was just joking around.
Yeah?
Like I'm a bad person. I wasn't.
Right. Does the intent matter?
I think a little bit. If you come in overtly trying to be terrible, the impact can still be the same either way, but one is, I don't know, being overt about it is even worse to me. They're both hurtful.
Yeah. And so Let's give Ornette a big hand. So, anything else that you guys want to add here? We're going to take them out of character for a minute, okay? So let's give them a big hand. That's how we do it. So you guys are out of character now, and you're the actors. So what is it that you know about microaggressions and what they do and what they are? And Annie's going to help me co-facilitate a little bit.
So a big thing about microaggressions, like especially like you kind of touched on it a little bit when it comes about like that impact versus intention. A lot of times, even if the intention isn't necessarily to cause harm, if that's the impact that it has, then that's the way that the person's going to internalize it, right? So another big thing that a lot of you guys were talking about was getting to potentially turn this into an educational opportunity. But another thing to kind of think about is if you're someone that's gone through life experiencing a lot of microaggressions, like say we're this group of students and this is not the first time that they've approached us, or we've had multiple times, like throughout this time we're at block painting, we're doing this, multiple people have stopped by and made snide over comments, covert comments, just been doing a lot of different things. Now at this point we're feeling drained and we're like, no, we're past education at this point. We're just trying to like paint, and people are consistently just kind of like attacking, whether it's necessarily purposeful or not, right? Because especially with a paper cut, if you keep doing paper cuts over and over and over again, you're gonna bleed, it's gonna be annoying. At that point, it's like, hey, just don't talk to me, like, I'm not trying to do this right now. So, while it is important, I think it is important to kind of know when there are those opportunities for education, it's also important to be able to see for yourself if you're not at a point of educating someone, where it might be better like, hey, I'm not in a headspace where I can try to have a conversation with you about this, I need this to just like move along so that there is a conflict.
Yeah.
That's what
Anybody else want to add what in your understanding of microaggressions and what they are? Maybe examples?
So, I was gonna say, like, as a microaggressor, it's easy to be like, you're just coming in, like, wanting to say something or genuinely interested, and then it turns to a point of, okay, let me just make jokes. But you don't understand that making certain jokes can actually hurt someone, especially when they get those types of jokes a lot. So you have to make sure that you know the person and that you know their boundaries. You can't just make jokes, certain jokes, like with everyone. And no matter the intent you come in with, it's just the words you say and the stereotypes that they're connected to can hurt someone.
Great. Anybody else? Maya, you want to?
About microaggressions? Also, because like if we put like microaggressions, say like outside of this microaggression particularly towards like Middle Eastern people, like what if we did it in the context of like a black person, and this was instead like a club teaching about like historical black meanings, and then you were constantly throwing all of these microaggressions too, because like I feel like as a minority as well, like we understand as minorities that certain things for our minority group are gonna hit differently as well, so we have to understand that from other minority groups' perspectives. Because like if we were a club of like maybe black students who were walked up to by people who were not knowing of like the microaggressions that were present and were saying all sorts of like ignorant things, it would also start getting annoying for us. So like those course of action should also apply to other groups of people as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. And the real hurtful thing about microaggressions is that people may not be wanting to offend you, but you're not really sure why they're treating you the way they're treating you, and you start thinking about, well, is it because I'm a woman? Is it because I'm black? Is it because I'm short? Is it because, right, fill in the blank. Because why would they be that way to me then? There's got to be something, and it's got to be that, because those of us who walk in our skin, we know when a microaggression's happening. We certainly know it. We don't miss it. Folks from the dominant culture may not see it as clearly as we do, right? Any other comments? All right, let's give them a hand. Excellent. Okay, let's do the next scene, and while we're doing that, Annie, I wonder if, is there anything else you wanted to add about the difference maybe between a microaggression and a microassault?
So another key way that you can kind of figure out whether or not it's a microaggression, microassault, or whether you should make a comment or not, is there's kind of like a rule, like 5 minute, 5 years old, right? So if you see something about someone and you're considering commenting on it, right? One, you should be commenting on people's appearance. Some people don't. It's just, But if it's something that they can't change in 5 minutes, then it just shouldn't be commented on, right? And I think another big thing, like as you kind of saw, like in this example, is a lot of times different forms of microaggressions can come across within the guise of jokes, right? So especially another big one is like backhanded compliments. Like, oh, you're so smart for this group. Oh, you're so pretty for someone in that group. Wow, you sound so articulate. Why would I not be articulate? You know what I mean? So it's kind of, it can be hard whenever you do kind of receive a microaggression regardless of the group that you're in, because then one of the biggest things is also questioning yourself. And you're like, hey, like, is this the reason that they said it? Or maybe am I looking too much into it? Right. So another kind of situation that we've had before, if we've done another like social drama with microaggressions, is sometimes somebody that's received a microaggression can kind of look for that validation, because it can be hard to validate yourself. And be like, hey, so I was speaking, maybe I was in this classroom and I said my name, and I was like, hi, my name is Ansibi Jean-Louis. And they were like, oh, that's difficult. Can I get something different? And I'm like, was that a microaggression or is it just a difficult name? So then you ask someone about it, and depending on who you ask, like, you get different comments. Like one, you're like, oh, that's racist. Absolutely, be upset, write a complaint. But then somebody else could be like, you have a difficult name. You're doing too much. Just give the easier name. So there's different things, kind of just that context, and seeing the different ways that you can take a microaggression. And we
Excellent. Yes,
Quick
please.
question. Could you elaborate a bit on the 5-minute thing? I missed that a bit. You said if someone can't change something.
So if it's something about a person that they can't change within 5 minutes, that it shouldn't be commented on.
Got it.
Regardless of your intention behind it, if they can't change it in 5 minutes, they probably know that about themselves. That's another thing. So.
Awesome, thank you. So now, we'll give them another round of applause to make them go back into character. Yay, back in character. And we're going to see the next scene. This is obviously still on campus. Now this is a classroom. Action.
Have you seen her writing professionally? They're not good. They're rough. Like, they look bad. They said she's really tough. Like, I quit.
Okay, everybody, it's 4:30 on the dot. I'd like to get started. I sent out your syllabus last night, so for the first day of class, I'd like to go over it. So if you just pull it up on your laptop, I'll put it up on the board as well. So everybody, just pull it up. I see we have someone else coming in.
Oh, my bad, Holly, I'm sorry.
Oh, maybe you could just keep her in the back by the door. That way you guys could come in and out more easily, and we're not bumping into people and distracting them. Yeah. No, you just go a little further. Right by the door would be perfect. Yeah, right there's good. Sorry. Yeah, thank you. Okay, so.
I have to sit near you. Want to? Sorry.
Yeah, you can sit by your friend.
This is what I don't want, is a lot of distractions, so maybe you guys can come earlier to class so we can get this all figured out. But I'd like to get class started with some icebreakers that we could all get to know each other. I could get to know all of you. So what if we do start in the back? What's her name and her major?
Oh, are you talking to me?
Yeah.
I can speak for myself. She doesn't have to speak.
Okay, good.
Yeah, my name is Layla and I'm a criminal justice major.
Oh, okay. How's that gonna work?
What?
No, that's good for you. Okay. How about next?
Excuse me.
Alright, just come on in, sit down. Okay. Just so you guys know now, I'm not gonna accept any lateness from you people, okay? How about you go next?
I'm sorry. What are we doing?
Well, if you're on time, you would know, so just take this as a note for the future. We're doing icebreakers, so just your name and your major.
My name is Maya, and I'm a psychology major with a criminal justice minor, and I'm thinking of adding forensics to it.
Okay, I'm making a seating chart. Maya, can you just spell your name for me?
Mayah.
Is that it?
Yeah, do you need the spelling of my last name as well?
Oh no, I was just seeing if that was your full first name. Nice and simple. Perfect. Okay. Next. Here. Miss, how about you in the front?
Me?
Yeah.
So my name's Eddie. I'm a special needs education major, and it's Mr. My pronouns are he, him. It should be on campus, right next to my name.
Oh, okay. I totally forgot about this new policy. I'm supposed to have everybody say their pronouns. So, I'm not gonna go back to the beginning. We'll just keep going from now on. I think it's pretty and your
pronoun
pronouns?
is she, her.
She, her? Okay. Next, sir, in the front, last but not least.
My name's Justin. I'm a criminal justice major. And I identify as a bald eagle.
What does that mean?
Well, on that note, we're gonna get started. I hope you all have your syllabus pulled up. We're gonna go through this fast. So obviously, this is Comp 2000. You all made it through 1500, but know that in this class, I'm gonna be more strict. So grammar, I know it may be a little different for some of us, but I'm gonna be strict about it. So maybe we'll add a class or two going over what I expect. I will not expect any lateness. I know some of you may have too much on your plate that you think you can handle, but if you can't, just let me know. And also, I'm not going to accept slacking off in this class. If any of you are here on sports scholarship and think you might be able to just slide on by, it's not going to happen. But I am here to help all of you, so if you need any help, please come up to me and ask. My office hours are listed on the syllabus. So let's go through what I expect from you guys.
Freeze.
Oh my God.
Oh, boy.
Oh my God. Oh my God. What? Let's identify.
What?
Can
what
we?
not?
What went right? Nothing.
It's just the
Go.
pronouns implying that some of them aren't capable of doing things for whatever reason. Sticking the person who is in a wheelchair in the back of the room, and applying that they can't do things for themselves, allowing when the kid makes fun of pronouns, that's all good. It's a pretty name. I don't know, I lost track.
What else?
Well, the professor never asked, never asked whether she was a student or not. She just skipped over her. She just assumed she was her aide or assistant. She didn't say, are you in class? Because she said, I'm just trying to help my friend, I think is what I heard. So, I don't know. Yeah, she just.
You want to ask
she
her?
was invisible.
Let's ask her.
Oh, yeah. Are you a student?
Yeah.
Yeah, she never asked.
So you're a student in this class?
She's the help.
Yeah.
It happens a lot. The people
Just
usually just
glossed over you. Right. Layla, how did you feel?
I felt like I wasn't being like valued with everyone else. I just was stuck in the back of the classroom. I tried to sit up here and then like the comment about being top was kind of disrespectful.
Did everybody hear that? Hot Wheels? Just a joke.
Hollywood.
Hollywood Hot
They
Wheels?
say Hollywood.
No.
Hot Wheels.
He said Hot Wheels. How did it make you feel? Did you feel like you were seen, heard, valued?
No.
No.
Basically like felt like I was incapable of doing anything. Like even the question of like, hey, what's your name? She wasn't talking directly to me. It made me feel like I wasn't a person at all. Just like see about my disability and not me as a person.
What did you mean by Hot Wheels? Just trying to be funny?
Yeah, I was just joking around.
Is that a microaggression or micro assault? Not that there's a test on this. It's just really, what are you seeing as you uncover this?
That's pretty terrible to me. Sorry, I think that's awful.
Okay, so not so subtle.
No.
That wasn't subtle at all. Eddie, how did you feel? Right off the bat, the professor dismissed.
Yeah, honestly, I'm just disappointed and not surprised. This happens all the time. I thought the whole point of having my pronouns displayed on Canvas was so that I didn't have to broadcast it to the whole class and put a giant target on my back, which clearly happened.
Yeah. Because he also makes this comment. What do you mean? You're just like think you're a joker, right? What was in your mind and your intention when you said, I'm a bald eagle? What are you trying to do? What did that really mean?
I was really just being funny, the class was kind of a little dead, and I just tried to make everybody laugh, I didn't mean it to the heart. I was just saying, hey, I'm a bald eagle. I was just trying to joke.
Maya, did you feel targeted at all?
I really felt targeted because when I came into class late, she said something about you people, and I'm just like, what do you mean by that? Because I could have I was in traffic for a little bit when I was coming here, and I was trying my best to get here as soon as possible, and kind of the target of the lateness, and then not going back to my pronouns because I don't identify as she, her really. So it was weird as well. It just felt like there was already some hostility between us, and I just walked into the class 5 minutes late.
Is there a power imbalance here? Yeah, what is it?
Oh, she made
Who's
it
got the
clear
power?
she's the enforcer.
Yeah. And, I mean, she's the one with the grades,
That's right.
right? So, did you feel like you couldn't really say anything? Huh? Yeah, really couldn't. You tried the best you could, standing up for yourself, right? Let's ask this teacher, what's the deal? Are you an adjunct? What's going on?
I'm just trying to get through my
Adjuncts are
class.
okay.
I've been teaching for.
Was that a microaggression?
Yes.
Adjuncts are okay.
Go.
I've been teaching for a lot of years. I've had my good classes. I've had my ones where they slack off. And I'm tired of it. I just want good quality work. Comp 2000. It's where they're going to learn their writing. College is all writing. So I just want what's best for them.
Did anyone's ethnicity and race have anything to do with it for you?
No.
I'm gonna bubble you now, right? That's another technique that we do, where it's like kind of like truth serum. I'm gonna bubble you, no one else can hear, and I'm gonna ask you the question again. Did the students' race and ethnicity have anything to do with your perception of their lack of motivation or anything else?
Maybe a little bit. Yeah. I mean, I didn't overtly try to make that aware to all the students, but I would say I do have a little bit of like some internal bias, but I try not to show it.
Did she do a good job of not showing it?
No.
Not at
No,
all.
not at all. All right, so, any other comments? I'm gonna ask you guys to give a big round of applause, and I'm gonna have you guys come out of character now. Come out of character, and Annie, would you help me?
This is such a fun scene, guys.
Yeah.
It was really cool.
Help us break it down.
I mean, even just from the very beginning of the like how the class starts, like of course like Layla's coming into the classroom and it's just like one of the biggest things like like we might not have seen is you notice the structure of the classroom, like it isn't very accessible like as it is like for as much as it's like yeah the professor shouldn't have put her in the back of the class, there isn't much other space for her to go. So it's another big thing. There's when it comes to microaggressions, a lot of it can be yes there's like the social implications, the stereotypes and everything, but a lot of it can also be structural, right? So if we're having classrooms where it's not built to accommodate students that might need the actual space, then that's already going to be a problem, right? And then it makes it even harder for those students that do encounter microaggressions or microassaults. Thank you very much. Then it makes it harder for them to kind of say something about it because then the professor could be like, oh, well, like there's no other space, there's nowhere else that they could have gone. So it can be harder for them to feel like they really can make their voice heard and point out the problems that are happening with the space, right? That's one of the first microaggressions that we heard. And then again, we had Maya coming in late, and she said, you know, I'm not going to tolerate lateness from you people, right? That's another one of those things that makes it really hard with microaggressions because it's like, oh, she just meant the classroom. Like, everybody in this classroom is a person. So by people, she meant all of the students. She won't tolerate lateness from her students. But she didn't say lateness from her students, right? So then it makes it really easy for the students to feel like this is personally targeted because of a specific identity that I hold. So then again, it can be really hard to kind of parse the difference between the reason they're saying it and the intention and the impact, right? Because regardless, the impact was you're saying this because of the way that I look, because of preconceived notion that you have about the group that I identify with, right? So even just going through it, especially within a classroom setting, kind of like we talked about with the power dynamics and everything, there's going to be different people that are going to consider some things jokes, some things not jokes. Somebody that might have heard Hot Wheels and been like, oh, that's way out of line, might have heard Bald Eagle and been like, all right, but that was kind of funny. So the different ways that we see things and the levels of severity that we view things as can make it a lot harder to know who will be willing to actually stand up and say something. And even before the scene like fully started, if you guys caught, in the beginning they were talking about the rate my professor knows. So if you're going into this class already knowing that this is a hard professor, she's a hard grader, it's hard to pass the class, then you're gonna feel like, oh, I don't wanna put myself out there and give my professor another reason to pick on me or target me or make this class even harder than it has to be. So it's gonna make it a lot less likely for students to feel like they can stand up for themselves or for another student.
Great, thank you. How many micro assaults did you see? A few? Okay. Can you identify a microaggression? Remember, the microaggression is more subtle. You people?
Yeah.
Maybe? What do you think?
The name, also asking her if that was her full name.
Yes.
Where's it from?
And where's it from? Oh, it's
Yeah,
asking
yeah.
Portia. Where's it from? No, origin. Oh, my parents. right?
But also, I think like on the, you saying like, oh yeah, that's right, I'm supposed to do pronouns on that Canvas thing, that's right, there's this new policy, which implies that I don't really want to do this, but I have to, and I'm being forced to, and I don't respect it.
Exactly, tongue in cheek, kind of like, yeah, okay, well, pronouns, right? That's a microaggression, right?
I think the can you handle those classes is a microaggression.
Yes. And there was a statement about criminal justice. How you gonna do that? Did you say that? How's that gonna, what was the line? What?
How's that gonna work?
How's that gonna work?
Oh my gosh.
That's
Yeah.
a micro-assault.
I know, it's true. All right, we're almost out of time, so at this point, you already gave your applause for them, but let's do it again. And here's the opportunity for you, see, this is what I love about the work. Sociodrama is not just performance, even though this is for Expression Day, and it is a way to express ourselves, and it is theater. Sorry, I have my back to you. This is theater, but what I love about it is that when we work on this stuff, we immerse ourselves in it. So it's great if you all got something out of it. Did you?
Yes.
Yeah, a little bit? Okay. But I bet they got more out of it. And then, now we're going to go to them and ask the actors just to kind of say their name again so we can highlight them, spotlight them, and tell me what it was like for you to be a part of this, the workshopping of it, you know, the brainstorming, the development, the rehearsal, and actually the subject matter.
Hi everyone, my name is Layla. I'm a criminal justice major, and basically, literally workshopping this was very, very difficult. This is my first social drama doing like microaggression, even though I know I've done it before, but this is my first one actually being inside of one and acting in it. And it was difficult playing a person with a disability. It's different, you know, but I'm used to move my legs, and I have to like not move my legs and all these different things. And hearing the certain comments that's made, you put yourself in that position where I'm not usually a target of these type of microaggressions, but being in this space, I'm like, wow, he's nervous, and some things tend to come as a joke. I wasn't dealing with what I'm dealing with, you know, in the scene. Maybe I would have seen it as a joke, or maybe I wouldn't have. And it's kind of putting yourself in a position to look at people's lives from a different lens. So it was definitely really cool workshopping, and Dr. T getting all of our advice and our little suggestions made, which was really cool, and working at it as a team. So I enjoyed this.
Excellent. Portia, now this is so wonderful, right? Portia walked in just last week and has been she saw us do something, red flags for early immersion, right? And has been wanting to like come to one of our things. And so she came last week when we were in the middle of rehearsing this, and so boom, she just like hit the ground running. So Portia, what was it like for you? This is your first sociodrama performance ever, and we rehearsed a little bit, but not a lot with you. But what was this like for you?
It was really, really fun. I've only been to one practice before we did all of this, so it was very, at first, intimidating, but it was really a nice experience.
Excellent.
And I feel like I learned more, like how to express myself, and also like learn more about microaggressions, because I've felt many microaggressions in the past and experienced it, and I know how confusing it can be, because you have to go to someone else and be like, is it me or did? But like talking about it and learning more about it, I'm like, okay, yeah, so that does exist. And even if that person didn't mean it that way or think of it that way, subconsciously that impacted how they said it.
Exactly. So the education goes both ways. And even though I'm the advisor for this, and I like to call myself a little Francis Ford Coppola-ish, but like every time we do something, I learn. And I learn from the audience, I learn from the reflective team, I learn from the characters themselves, from the actors. So it's this kind of like boomerang effect, which is really awesome. Shannon, what is it like? And this is her last performance. She's been with us since she was a sophomore.
Since 2021.
Countless sociodramas that she's been a part of, and this is her last one. So how did you always get the raw end of the stick? You always play the bully, the bad guy. But
I'm the president of sociodrama. Like she said, this is my last one. I'm very upset about it. I've done microaggressions a couple times. I love it and I hate need it. I hate it because I just play this terrible person, but I love it because I think it is one of the most relevant and most impactful sociodramas that we do. And I love it because I think it's one that I take so much from myself. I learn so much every single time we do this. I learn about what can be hurtful because I've definitely learned things that maybe I wouldn't have thought that could hurt someone, but it does. And I take so much from these every single time, and I feel ever since first time I did it 3 years ago, when I go through my everyday life, I always each of these performances pop into my head, and I just see it in my everyday life. And it's interesting how much I love teaching people, but how much I also love learning about it and everybody's experiences, and how it can help and impact other people around me that may need it. So I love this one.
Awesome. And by the way, Layla is the vice president, and next year just voted in president. Right. Awesome. All right, Chloe.
Doing this role because as being part of the minority as well, because I'm not very confrontational, and her comments saying can you handle all this, and I'm like, what are you trying to is there a meaning behind this, or is there is she just genuinely asking if the workload is heavy, or is she just asking because of what appeared to be? So other people might have felt those little little subtle things, and she's maybe it's just me, I'm just gonna brush it off and then just move on with our day. But people don't really acknowledge those things, so no one gets educated and be in the know of these stuff can actually happen.
And would you say that microaggressions and microassaults play on someone's sense of self, which also can play into your mental health and feeling depressed or not, feeling like you can do something or not, feeling motivated or not? So this is really important work. Maya.
Hi, my name is Maya. There is an extra H in my name, by the way. Anyways, doing this, I felt we did need to be careful about certain subject matters, but most of the people in this club, we contributed a lot of from our own personal things that we've endured as well. And that was really an experience, and a lot of things have been targeted at us, so being able to show you guys what happens and how to sort of combat that, or come at a more educational standpoint is really a beautiful thing to do, because even with how little that this microaggressions are, they still have a bigger impact no matter what, and could even further escalate even if you don't know it. So there's that as well. So this was really fun to do, and I'm really glad that we got to showcase this for all of you guys.
Justin, also graduating. Very sad, but happy for him.
I feel this one was really educating. I was the person that was throwing subtle remarks to everybody.
Subtle.
But I'm a really nice person. I don't really.
Yes, you are.
He is.
I don't really do any aggressions, and it was kind of a little hard for me playing this part because I didn't even know what a bald eagle was. When they said to say bald eagle, I was what does that mean? I was confused myself. So I was okay, I'll say it. They just gave me everything to say because I don't really say anything bad. I'm a genuine and nice person. But I would say actually being in this role, it made me realize things that people can say and how it can come off in a bad way, and it kind of makes you learn from a different perspective of some things might not come off as a microaggression to you, but to others it can be microaggression. So it kind of makes me learn from that aspect.
Excellent. Eddie.
Hey, I'm Eddie. So for this performance, I am actually trans myself, so it was really easy for me to feed material to Shannon and Justin. Most of those lines I gave them. But I feel and it's something I go through a lot. I feel a lot of professors in general take my pronouns as a suggestion rather than something that they should respect. Because unfortunately, I don't present very masculine right now because hormones are expensive. And unless someone else is going to pay for that, it's going to be a while before I can actually get to that point. And I feel like a lot of the microaggressions that I experience, it slips under the radar really quickly. Like, even when I don't know if we mentioned, Shannon said, oh, well, I feel like it's pretty self-explanatory about the pronouns. Like, what do you mean it's self-explanatory? For you, maybe it is, but for everyone else, it might not be.
Yes.
So I feel like it was just important to show that, like, this happens and it's not great.
Thank you so much for your vulnerability and for sharing with us and helping teach us, because that's the beauty of the work again. It's like we don't just rehearse these things to get them, so that they'll land on you good and you'll be entertained and then we've expressed ourselves and all of that. No, this is hard work that we do. In fact, we talk about that sociodrama can save lives, even if it's just one life. So I just want to say thank you to each of you, really, for educating all of us together. Annie, you got the last word.
I talk a lot, I'm sorry. So yeah, hi. So I very much believe in all the work that sociodrama does. And kind of similarly to somebody was saying earlier, the microaggression sociodramas have always been one of the ones, just kind of the nearest and dearest to my heart. Just being someone that has gone through so much of my life experiencing microaggressions a lot of the time. Just like from, especially like middle school and high school, I was in like more predominantly white schools. So a lot of times there was a lot of kind of comments and situations that I was in where it kind of like you said earlier, kind of had a very large effect on my self-esteem at the time. And kind of like talking about like when it's hard to kind of parse the intention that someone has for the comments that they make and the way that it impacts you, it made it really hard to just be like, hey, like this is a hurtful thing that you're saying, that you're doing, because I knew it wasn't necessarily coming from a place of negativity or intentional hurt, right? And even a lot of that time would be from teachers that may mean well and be like, hey, like this is a piece of a curriculum, like, hey, we're gonna do Huckleberry Finn, are you okay with that? Like, I'm not gonna ask you to change the curriculum, bro, just teach the class. So things like that are really important. And just every rendition that we do of microaggressions, for sociodramas in general, a lot of the pieces are like improv acting. So like we don't have like a set script and like you're gonna say this at that time. We just have like the specific like key lines that are like at the like kind of just get to this area how it naturally gets there, because so much of these situations like we try to keep it as realistic as possible. So the beauty of it is really being able to provide people with that realism so that we can have that conversation, and so that we can raise that awareness so that whenever you do experience it in your own life, you're able to stand up for yourself or someone else, to know that you are valid in which you may or may not have experienced, and just go for it.
Yes.
Thank you for coming.
Excellent. Excellent. All right. What did you get out of this? What did you get out of this? Besides, we're going to get a T-shirt, I think, out of it. But besides that, what did you get out of it, if anything? Oh, really? That much? Wow, that makes us very sad. Was it educational?
Yes.
Was it entertaining?
Yeah. Both. I'm an 85-year-old, and I was a professor for more than 42 years. I really enjoyed it. It was entertaining, but also educational, because we can be microaggressive without knowing it. So listening and watching, maybe it will make us think, I shouldn't say that. Like the minute she said, you people, remember I'm 85, so I've been through a lot of stuff, but you just don't say you people to my people.
Right.
Under any circumstance, unless you're being microaggressive.
Yes.
So it is excellent. Keep doing what you're doing and try to get more people to watch this. People who won't read a book, but if they could see and hear, they could learn.
Yes. Yes. Thank you
You're
so
an
much.
impressive group.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. All right. Stage for change. There they are. And listen, one more thing. They're Stewie finalists.
All right.
Stewie finalists for like the 5th year in a row or something ridiculous, right? So I hope that this is their year. They're also Goldfin Award nominated finalists. The Goldfin, and it's for social political action.
Social and Political Action Organization of the Year. We did win last year, so hopefully we win again.
Yes. Awesome.
If you're interested in joining this club for next year, please, we want to recruit a lot more people.
Yes.
It may seem intimidating at first, but way you learn to love it. We're a family. You
Yep.
can come up to me or any of us, and we can add you into the grouping. We have meetings Wednesdays. We might move to Mondays. We're not sure. 12 to 1, so there's no classes in that time. You meet so many people, make so many connections. You work with so many professionals. To me, it's the reason for my college success. I am getting awarded for outstanding student, so I have to thank this club and Dr. T for that. That is
I can't. Okay.
No, I just want to say thank you
Please.
guys again. This session really spoke to me as a previous thespian, you know. I was a part of an organization that also used theater to educate. And so, you know, you definitely don't know the lives that you will touch through the work that you do. So I encourage you to continue to grow from this, continue to seek out the problems and to educate through theater. You don't know how many lives you're touching here, live stream, just by the words that you're saying. This is making a difference. The arts can make a difference. And so I appreciate you guys. I feel like, this isn't even my club, but I feel like I'm passing the torch because I used to do this kind of thing, and I'm just, as if you were my own. I am so proud to see this going, and I just encourage you guys to continue to do the work. And even though you are leaving here, you know, you take this work with you wherever you go, and you keep ministering in this manner. And so with that, I want to say thank you guys again for joining us.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
For finding it not robbery to come out and participate in this event. And if you can, join, support, do whatever you can do for these students and for the other students around you. Because this is how we're going to grow, by coming to these sessions, by coming to sessions that challenge our way of thinking and that encourages us to keep moving forward and being accepting in our communities. Okay? So I thank you so much for attending this session. If you have time, stick around. In a few, we're going to have a slight cultural fashion show. There's some snacks out in the lobby and t-shirts. Please take the t-shirts so we don't have to carry them back.
Oh, they're getting t-shirts, all right,
Okay?
yeah, okay.
If you did not sign in for this session, please make sure that you sign in for the session. And if you're going to stay for the next session, make sure that you sign in for that session. And then also, please, one of our fellow Nova Southeastern University students created some of the art that you see in the back. Take a moment. Just check out the work that was done by one of your peers and see the difference that we can make through the arts.